If you're married or in a civil partnership and you're living in the UK, then you may have heard of the marriage allowance, or possibly not, as it tends to be one of those tax benefits that many people overlook. But it could really save you some money. In fact, if you qualify, then you and your partner could end up paying less tax overall and boosting your household finances. So let's break it down. What is marriage allowance? How does it work? And how can you benefit from it? In today's video, I'll be covering everything you need to know. The marriage allowance is a tax benefit in the UK that allows you to transfer a portion of your personal allowance to your spouse or your civil partner if you're a low earner. The personal allowance is the amount of income that you can earn before paying any income tax. For most people, it's £12,570 per year as of the 24-25 tax year. But what if your personal allowance is higher than you actually need? Maybe you only earn £9,000 a year. That's where marriage allowance comes in. If one of you earns below the personal allowance and the other earns more than the allowance, the lower earner can transfer £1,260 of their unused personal allowance to the higher earner. This means the higher earner's tax bill is reduced, which benefits a couple as a whole. You're essentially sharing your tax-free allowance to make the most of it. Now, you might be wondering, do I actually qualify for this? Well, there are some criteria to meet, so let me walk you through them. First, for the lower earner, their income must be below the personal allowance threshold, so that means they should earn less than £12,570 a year. On the other hand, the higher earner must be a basic rate taxpayer, which means they earn between £12,571 and £50,270 a year. So if your partner makes over £50,270, then they won't be eligible to receive the marriage allowance, as the relief is designed for basic rate taxpayers only. Providing you meet these two criteria and you are a UK tax resident, then the marriage allowance can be applied. If you do meet the criteria, then applying for the marriage allowance is pretty simple. You can apply online through the official HMRC website. You'll need your personal details, including your national insurance number, and your spouse or civil partner will need the same. Once you're on the HMRC website, look for the section labelled marriage allowance and follow the prompts. It will take just a few minutes, and after your application is processed, your allowance transfer will begin. Once you're approved, your partner's tax code is adjusted, which means they'll pay less tax on their income straight away. Now, let's talk about the numbers. How much can you actually save with the marriage allowance? The current transfer is £1,260, and since the higher earner is paying tax at the basic rate of 20%, that means they could save up to £252 on their tax bill. Let's look at an example. Let's say you're the lower earner, earning £10,000 a year, and your partner is earning £30,000 a year. Prior to applying the marriage allowance, your partner will benefit from £12,570 of tax-free income thanks to the standard personal allowance. The remaining £17,430 of income is then taxed at 20%, giving them an overall annual income tax bill of £3,486. After applying for marriage allowance, £1,260 of your personal allowance is transferred to your partner, increasing their personal allowance to £13,830, all of which will be tax-free. Now, the remaining amount that gets subjected to 20% tax is only £16,170, and the annual tax bill is £3,234. A tax saving of £252. Now, let's address some of the common questions I've seen popping up about marriage allowance. Yes, marriage allowance is available for all couples who are married or in a civil partnership. Yes, you can actually backdate your claim up to 4 tax years. So if you missed applying last year, don't worry, you could still apply and backdate that benefit. If your income changes during the tax year, it's important to let HMRC know. They'll adjust your tax situation accordingly. If you divorce, you should no longer claim the marriage allowance, but you'll need to notify HMRC of your new status so that they can make the adjustment from their end. So there you have it. The marriage allowance is a great way for qualifying couples to save money on their tax bills, and it's simple to apply for. If you think you might be eligible, go ahead and check out the HMRC website and see how much you could save. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. And let us know in the comments if you have any questions or you want to share your experience with the marriage allowance. See you next time.